Well, last night, my wife and I, we got some unexpected last-minute tickets to the Chris Tomlin show here in Granite Bay, California. And I actually got some interesting tips regarding the handyman industry. So I was kind of blown away at that. It's very interesting. It was the most amazing concert I've ever been to. I have never felt God talk to me like that at a concert ever before. It was absolutely fantastic. I grew up, I was in high school when Chris Tomlin was kind of, releasing a lot of his hit songs, a lot of his hit older songs like Indescribable and things like that. And so as he sung those songs last night, I was just blown away and taken aback with memories of, I remember right when I became a Christian, I was in my friend's bedroom, and he had a burnt CD with Chris Tomlin, had a few Chris Tomlin songs on there, some Mercy Me, and things like that. And he gave me that CD. That was the very first Christian CD that I ever got, was some of Chris Tomlin's songs, and the Indescribable song just hit me so much. It was absolutely insane. Probably the biggest thing that got me from there was just, you know the depths of my heart, but you love me the same. And I was just taken aback to that memory of sitting there, getting that CD from my friend, and just falling in love with those songs. And I remember some of the things I struggled with at that point in time, things that I struggled with for the next 20 years after that moment, things that I have overcome in the past few years, things that made me feel horrible and miserable and not someone that was worthy of, someone of God dying for me. And just amazing to think back to that and think about what God has brought me through, what he has forgiven me of, and how even back then when I was in the midst of my struggles, in the midst of my pain, in the midst of my trauma, God still loved me. He saw the depths of my heart, but he loved me the same. Just absolutely fantastic, and it had a whole new meaning than it has ever had before listening to it last night. But that was absolutely insane. But to get to the meat and potatoes of it, the handyman stuff. Okay, it was just really interesting. I was thinking about Chris Tomlin and who he is and how he had such a huge impact on my life as a high schooler. This was back in 2003, 2004, and he said last night, he's like, yeah, I've been doing these tours for 25 years, and there were some people at the show that weren't even born when he started his tour. So just thinking about this man and all that he's created throughout his life. I mean, he had hit songs back in 2004. He has hit songs still today. He sung some songs from back in 2004. He sung some songs from right now in 2023. And it just blew me away that one man could have such an impact, not only on one generation, but on multiple generations. And it just really kind of gave me a new insight. And that's always what I've wanted to be. And that's always something that I've struggled with, is I've always wanted to help people make a huge impact and be kind of this person who brings about a lot of change, right? And throughout my life, I've gone through probably bad ways of trying to get to that. One huge thing that I've struggled with for years is codependency. That's basically, holding your value based on what someone else thinks about you. And it's not a very healthy thing at all. So that's something that I've been actively trying to overcome. But it is a daily challenge, because there's always, there's always those thoughts of wanting to please people, wanting to be accepted. But at the end of the day, not everyone's going to accept you. And so one of the things that I got from Chris, and just listening to his songs and praying, and I just heard God say that this man has been blessed. Like, his music career has been blessed. And I'll get to kind of how this relates here in a second. But his music career has been so blessed that he's been able to just move generation and then move to another generation and create hits for all of these generations. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that. But I think that the key is, and I think Chris said it himself, was that the way that you do that is not by focusing on yourself. It's not by focusing on trying to please other people. It's not by trying to create hit songs. It's not by trying to create hit YouTube videos or be the, best handyman around. Although some of those things are good, right? Because the better worship songs you create, the more people will listen to it, right? The better your handyman business is, the more people are going to hire you, and the more change you can effect. But I believe the key to his success has been surrendering to God. I mean, every single one of his songs is about praise and how holy God is, and just like the grace and the mercy and the peace, like just absolutely insane. Like, this guy is so immersed into the Holy Spirit that I believe that that's the key. So I got a whole different mindset. I got a mindset shift last night. It was really cool. Just that I don't need to do things for anyone else. I don't need to do things for anyone else or even myself. I need to do them for God. I need to do this, what God has blessed me with, for Him, for His glory and His glory alone. And I don't necessarily need to worry about anything else. Even making a video like this may be wildly unpopular with a lot of people that are in the handyman genre, but at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about God. And how I try to instill that in my business. So like, let's bring it around to a practical business situation here. So I've tried to gear my personal handyman business that I've had since 2016 in a way where we can infect as much change as possible, and we can bring about as much hope as possible. Our mission at Honestly Handyman, that's the name of my handyman business, is to provide hope. Hope for a better experience, a better service, and a better community. And there's many different ways that we do that. And recently, probably the last year or so, I've added a little bit to that. So we exist to provide hope. Hope for a better experience, a better service, and a better community for the reinvigoration of moral fortitude. Now, I kind of stole some of those wording from F3 that I'm a part of, but moral fortitude, I think, is so huge. And at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, why are you doing this stuff, right? Why do you want to bring hope? Why do you want to infect change? Why do you want to go out and be a good person? Because at the end of the day, you can make a lot of money as a handyman just by going and screwing people over. You know, doing, like halfway jobs and just skipping town or whatever it is. Like, you don't have to go through all this stuff of being professional and have, professional uniforms and professional trucks and things like that. You don't have to do that. So why go through the pain of doing that? Well, at the end of the day, I believe moral fortitude is at the root of this. Is that I want to enact hope and change so that people will do things that are right just because they're right. Hey friends, I wanted to interrupt this video real quick and let you guys know about Olight. Olight sent me this flashlight and they wanted me to talk about it. And I've been trying this out for the last few days. It's the new Olight Baton 4. It's an absolutely fantastic flashlight. I've really been enjoying it, and it is super bright. It has 4 different modes. Another great thing about it is there is a charging box that comes with it. And this charging box can charge the Baton 4 different times without needing to be plugged in. So if you guys are looking to charge something in your car or charge something while camping, this new Baton 4 is really a great flashlight to get. And it's really fantastic. One way that I've been doing it is I've been attaching it to my hat and taking it on early morning runs. It has been absolutely fantastic. And Olight is actually having a Black Friday sale right now. Use the link in the description below to get access to that. And this guy can be on your shopping list this Christmas season. All right, that's enough about flashlights, but you know me, I love flashlights. Let's get back to today's video. It's the right thing to do. That's why we do things. I believe that it's the right thing to do to show up and be professional, to have a professional uniform, to have a professional truck, to hire people that honor people's homes and respect, the house that they're in, and not just trash things or not just cuss around their kids or smoke around their kids. Like, I hire people that are respectful and honorable and trustworthy because I believe that's the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. So reinvigoration of moral fortitude, I think, is so huge, and that's really how I've built my business. And at the end of the day, whether clients know it or not, they are partnering with our handyman business every single time they do work to bring change around the world to people that they'll never meet. We donate 10% of our income, of our profit. Let me be specific there, because I got asked the other day. We donate 10% of our profit to help free kids from the sex slave industry. So that is really massive if you think about it, because these people here in Granite Bay, California, in the United States, they are, through their dollars that they pay us to do their work, they're actually giving money to help free people from a horrible industry that they never were supposed to be involved in. They're helping them free these people that they're never going to meet, people that will probably never even know that those are the people that donated to them. It's a complete selfless act, and I believe that that is at the root of moral fortitude. We are doing that simply because it's the right thing to do. Another organization that we give to is we give to a local nonprofit here in California that helps rebuild homes that are damaged by wildfires in California. Every summer, it seems, the whole state of California catches on fire. This is the only summer that really we got away with like very few fires, if any at all, and that's absolutely insane. So we are blessed with that, but those are the two organizations that we give to, and we do that because it's the right thing to do. So that's how I've tried to gear my business. Now, YouTube is a whole nother thing. YouTube is a beast, right? And I think some of you guys might experience this in your handyman business, because I did for years, and really at the root of it is codependency. When you are going out and you're trying to please all your clients, and you're bending over, you're breaking your back just to please these people that aren't your ideal clients, that don't respect you, at the root, that could be codependency. Not that it necessarily is, depends on situations, but it could very likely be codependency. I've experienced that a lot on YouTube. For quite a while, I've tried to create the best video possible, create the best content possible, deliver the best material I possibly could. Now, it's really hard because the YouTube algorithm, man, just like, it kills me sometimes, because you can make a really great video that is jam-packed full of great information, and I've made a lot of them, of people that, like, this is information that people need. This will help them grow their business. This will help them start their business. And YouTube won't show it to anyone. You'll get like 300 views. And at the root of you, you feel horrible, because it's like, I just put 5 hours into this YouTube video and 300 people watched it. No one commented, but see, at the end of the day, that's codependency. You could start picking up on some of my codependent thoughts there. Is that at the end of the day, it's not about the results. It's not about like what people are getting out of it. It's about that I'm using the gifts and talents that I've been given by God to enact change and to deliver that. And then on the other side of things, you can make a YouTube video that has absolutely no good usable content at all, but you have some clickbait title and some fancy thumbnail, and it's going to get 1 million views right off the bat, and it delivers no value whatsoever. But YouTube algorithm picks it up and they see that it's going to be fantastic. So it's like you can't win, you know. I try and create good content, but it's just this vicious cycle. So I've always tried to create a mixture of both. Is like, okay, how can I make great content that the YouTube algorithm picks up and my video just blows up? I'm like, what if I got a reel that just blew up, had like 5 million views? But at the end of the day, all that is fleeting, right? Chris Tomlin didn't go out and try and write Indescribable because it would be like a lifelong hit seller. He created that song because those are the words that God gave him. And so the thing that I could do, the thing that you could do in your handyman business, for me here on YouTube in my handyman business, is use the talents that God has given you and sing the song that He has given you, that He has blessed you with, whether or not anyone listens to it. It's the song that He has given us. And at the end of the day, what really matters is business. At the end of our lives, business won't really matter much. You know, at the end of our lives, what's going to matter is where we go when we die and who we enact change on to bring with us. And on another side of things, I read a quote today that the only people in 20 years, the only people that are going to remember that you worked late are your kids. So it kind of puts things into perspective of like, okay, so what really matters in this world? And I believe it's the people, the things that God gives us that are under our leadership. And one of the hugest things for that is our family. So if we're forsaking our family to go out and make a couple bucks, I mean, obviously, you know, we need to put food on the table, we need to have a place to live, but it's like, what is the perspective? And obviously I'm kind of ranting a little bit in this video because a lot of it is external processing. I'm still processing what happened at the Chris Tomlin concert last night. It was just really cool. The first thing is, you know, that he knew the depths of my heart. Just absolutely insane. So my words to you guys right now is God knows where you're at. God knows the struggles that you're going through in your business, and He has a plan. He's put you in this spot for a reason. I told my general manager a few times before that there's been a few times that I've thought about quitting in the handyman business. The only reason I didn't is because I honestly feel like God has called me to this business for a specific reason. There are some hard times. There's times when we've had to take money out of our personal bank account to pay our employees' salaries. There's been times where, like, you know, we've struggled, like trying to figure out where we're going to gather money to pay for certain things, because sometimes business is up and down. Sometimes you make bad financial decisions. We've made a few of those in our career. Things are not always fluffy bunnies and rainbows. But at the end of the day, God knows where you're at. And God has placed you where you're at for a specific reason. I believe that God has put you where you are. God has put me right here talking to you on this video for a specific reason. I'm here to bring hope, and I hope that I am bringing that to you, but ultimately, I'm doing it for the glory of God. I'm doing it because God has told me to do it, so I would encourage you to do what you feel God is telling you to do in your handyman business. And then my other thought that I took away from one of Chris Tomlin's songs was, he talks about, and the Bible talks about, that all creation cries holy, 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 holy. All creation cries holy. So I was thinking, what does it look like for a handyman business to cry holy? Well, I think to answer that, and I don't really have an answer for that, just to give you a little disclaimer here, but you got to look at what the definition of holy is, right? There's many definitions, but one is, it's perfect in goodness and righteousness. Obviously, we can't be perfect. Only God is perfect. But goodness and righteousness, I think that's something that we can all strive for. And I think honestly, that's what's behind this honest handyman movement, is trying to cry holy through being good and righteous in all that we do, because it's what's right. It's moral fortitude. We are doing what is right because it's right. And I believe that having goodness and having righteousness is the right thing to do. So in some sense, I think that, if we stick to that, this honest handyman type of lifestyle, and not the chuck in a truck lifestyle, we are crying holy, holy to God. Our handyman businesses are part of the heavenly choir singing holy, holy every single day to God. And that's pretty awesome. And then I think the last thing, like I talked about before, is not doing this stuff for me or for anyone else, but do it for God. And I believe that if I do it for God, just like Chris Tomlin did it for God, I can have an impact not only on this generation, but generations to come. And I think that happens through things like even just these videos. I mean, thinking about these videos are going to be around for my kids to watch. That would be kind of cool. But also like through helping free kids from the sex slave industry. Massive. Like these kids that are stuck in this industry, we're helping free them so that they can have a life, a new life. And they can have children of their own that can come to know God, who can have children of their own. Like, it's pretty amazing, the impact that we can have if we actually break it down. So Chris Tomlin, shout out to that guy. He has had an amazing career. I have personally been extremely blessed by Chris. Chris, I want to say thank you so much for all that you've done, just for surrendering to God. And I just hope and pray that I could do the same thing. I want to surrender to God. I want to be used by God in everything that I do. So today, I just hope that you would think about the same thing. How can you be used by God to enact change in this world? Thanks for watching, guys. And if you guys like what you saw here, I did a lot of brainstorming. Like and subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. I'd love to have you around, and like this video, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. This has been, what are we on now? Day 56 of our 100-day video challenge. And my mind was blown last night. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will catch you guys tomorrow on day 57. We're coming up. It's almost Thanksgiving. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.